It is Final Fantasy V ESUNAFORCORONA number 2 here in the spring of 2021. We are taking on the Seal Guardians, or the Crystals. While we are getting ourselves set up, let me just point you down to the chat box below, or the description box below this video, where I have a link to an unlisted playlist of all of the uncommentated videos of this one. If you want to see how this party handled many of the game's bosses without commentary, it's in that playlist. I just do commentary on some of the more notable boss fights that require a little bit more explanation. We have Dancer, White Mage, Summoner, Geomancer from top to bottom. The very first section of this fight, we are just getting ourselves sandbagged up. We're putting up all the defensive abilities that we have on these guys. We've got things like Golem. We've got the Image. I don't know if we are going to do Protect in this one. I think we're just going to stick with the Image status on this. I recorded this a little bit ago, so I don't remember the full sequence as I'm doing commentary here. The Seal Guardians, of course, have 7,777 hit points. When they get below 3,000, so after you do 4777 to any one of them, they start spamming their area of effect, all targeting magic. Of course, that gets pretty nasty. You want to try to avoid that. So this party is sadly unable to do tons except for the Golem, or sorry, the Titan summon spell. So you'll see the Titan spell really come in to do some good work here on this battle as we go through it. So here is the first casting of Titan. We're going to start doing some damage. Now, it won't take very many Titans to get them close, but we do want to bring them from full health and to bring them all the way down to 0 before we get into that danger zone. So we don't want them to get a turn while they are under 3,000 hit points. So when you see me pause the game at each damage readout, I'm not making a note on piece of paper, but I'm just mentally counting the damage up. So you can see the Geomancer did a little bit more because they can equip the Earth Clothes, or the Gaia Gear, or the Earth Robe that boosts your Earth elemental attacks. The Dancer, of course, has the a ribbon on and has another piece of medium armor gear on there. So Dancer's not equipped with the Earth Robe. You can see, again, the Summoner with the high magic attack does even more with Titan there. And these guys are going to do nothing but physical attacks until they get into their spam mode. The one at the bottom, of course, is gaining life because it is an Earth Elemental, so it absorbs Earth. It will do the Earth Shaker move when it gets into its critical, which is all targeting. And this party does have a way to get the float status. You can cast Confuse on a couple of monsters throughout the game to make them cast float on you. I thought that was more work than strictly required for this fight. It would have been nice to do that if we had float on all 4 characters. Usually then you just beat up on that Earth one until it starts spamming Earthshaker, and then you just worry about the other ones because it can't touch you anymore. So here I'm putting Shell on some characters. This is a nice addition here with the White Mage. So if we do get hit with one of their area of effect attacks, the damage will be halved. And some of our characters can actually tank it if they're at full health. They can actually eat one of those if they have Shell and they're full health. I think they normally do somewhere a little north of 800-ish to each character. So if that gets chopped in half, that's going to be closer to 500. So you can see a couple of us have more hit points than that. So if the worst does happen, you can't stay alive very long because these guys are very fast. So it's not like you have a lot of time to recover. If you lose 2 characters in an area of effect attack, you really just have a couple more swings at them. You're not really going to try to revive your fallen party members if you get into that situation. So I did want to have that just in case. Reflect can be relevant here. You can use Reflect to bounce the fire crystals, fire damage off of you, and fire will harm all of the other ones. Fire will harm the other pieces, including the earth piece. But it's too unreliable, in my opinion, and the damage is actually not great. When I have tried it, I don't remember exactly what the damage is to each one, but it's not. I don't think it's worth the effort of trying to play around with it, especially in this battle before you've gotten access to Carbuncle, where you can put a Reflect on everybody at the same time. So here's another Titan. We're getting closer to getting the top 3 crystals into that critical mode. Oh, so it looks like I've committed to the flurry here. So I lined up all of my characters' turns, and they were close enough. I wasn't counting as I did commentary here, but as I played this and recorded this, I must have counted knowing we were close enough that I could do somewhere north of 3,000 or right around 3,000 in one big flurry. Indeed, I did. So you get everybody's turns lined up. You wait till those crystals have acted. You can't wait around too long because they're so fast, the other ones will start to act again. So you got to just kind of pick a time when you all have your turns lined up and go for it. And I figured that 3 of the Titans in a row would do the job, but I had the 4th character ready to go in case we were a tiny bit short, in case we did leave one alive. So you can see the Ramu there does nothing for it. That's because I selected the wrong summon as I was going through this one. You can see me kind of floundering a little bit in my menus, looking for where is that Ifrit summon. And indeed, here comes the Ifrit summon. So I cast the Ramu spell because I just wasn't sure in my Japanese menu which one was Ramu or Ifrit. So the Fire Rod here will do good damage if we break the Fire Rod. I believe I'm holding on to the Fire Rod in the event that that we need to get this guy done quick to break a Fire Rod. I could break a bunch of Fire Rods on him in a row. I could have done that with the other ones as well, just broke a bunch of Fire Rods and left the Fire Crystal alive, but I decided to go for the Titan strategy, as you saw. Here's Ifrit again. And you can see Ifrit's doing pretty pitiful damage. But my Dancer is now going to go from defensive mode into offensive mode. The Dancer had the Guardian Dagger that blocks physical attacks in. I believe I switched to the Air Knife on the Dancer. So we're going to do the dance move and try to pile some damage in, I believe. Because these guys, they'll nullify lightning, they nullify ice. This one absorbs earth, and that's really what the summoner can do right now. You've got the fire elemental with the Ifrit. You've got non-elemental damage. All right, so I'm checking out what a physical attack does. Dance is pretty wild at this point, although attack with the air knife is doing more than the Ifrit. You can see even with the rod boosted Ifrit, it's just not doing very much. So I've moved my Geomancer to the front row as well. I believe the Geomancer is going to put an air knife in and start attacking. We want that nice, reliable, easy-to-count damage. You'll see a lot of Ifrit here. This will be the last battle that I believe we'll use Ifrit with. And that's okay. Even some later Fire Week bosses will just be either breaking rods or this party will have enough damage and enough offensive power to handle just about anything. Weakness or no. So I'm doing the same thing with the Geomancer here. It's a minor optimization that you switch the weapons on the turn that you want to use it, because that Guardian Dagger will give you one more turn of protection. Although all it does is really just saves your image status, which just saves your golem hit points. You know, after we got all the protections up, I don't think we took a hit point of damage from these guys between the image or blink status and then of course the golems. And I don't think at this point it's worth really refreshing the images, because Golem has plenty of hit points left and this guy's gonna be in his critical mode here fairly soon. And here's where I'm just having my mages just hang out and wait. They're not doing damage that's gonna make it really worth it. Here is an Earthshaker, and see right there you can see that got halved to the 200-ish range. Earthshaker is on the weaker side of the ones that they can use. I think Aeroga is one of the stronger ones. We didn't see the air one. So here I'm going to use a high potion on the crystal because we actually got a little bit too close and I was not ready to go on the flurry yet. So that is one strategy you can use on these guys. If you are counting and you are just knock them into that critical mode, if you survive it, you can get them back into their regular mode by throwing a potion at him. So you can see he's back into physical attacks now. And that's okay. So I'm getting everyone's turns lined up, and looks like that my plan was just to get him right back over it and then wait till everyone's turn was lined up. But I couldn't really do that and wait while he was in critical mode. And that's what I needed right there, was the sword dance. And then now I can go to it. If you have them just above, you can have the Dancer wait and do the dance move. And if they do something that's worth nothing, you just kind of reset the round. You just defend with everybody, bring it back up, and then you try again until you get a sword dance. And if you get the drain dance, you can also just like throw another potion in him to reset that, because you really want to start with the sword dance. And then there was the rod to finish the job. So that was a pretty methodical picking down of the Guardian crystals.